install a new culture in Charlottesville. And she certainly did that with Missouri State when you look at what they were able to do in the MVC over the years.
Yeah, just continued success at a school that, you got to work hard in those mid-majors, and she certainly did that and put a stamp there as the first African-American female head coach at that university, and is off to do big things at UVA here to turn the program around. And what a way to do it on the road against a team like Pitt that, look at their record, 0-11 in the ACC, yet they are still extremely hungry for that win.
Starting five for the Panthers. Washington's Hayford off a career-high 12 in the loss at Duke the last time out. Johnson, Hutcherson, and Amber Brown leads the charge with 10 points and 5 rebounds per game. Panthers had the opening possession. They'll give it back to the Cavs. We are underway at the Peterson Event Center. Lance White, year number 5. I thought he was optimistic in our conversations this week. It's one thing to struggle this year. As you take a look at the Cavs starting 5, Taylor Valladay poured in a career-high 30 the last meeting between these two. That was a season ago. But for Lance White, he's optimistic. They're doing things the right way, and he thinks this team is close.
It takes, that extra energy and effort from coaches this time of year anyways, let alone meeting with a coach who is 0-11. You sort of don't know what personality you're going to get, and he was extremely receptive, positive, as Pitt gets off to a good start here behind the three-point line. You got to continue to show up, right? And that's where I feel like Pitt could, maybe not salvage the rest of the season getting into a tournament or anything like that, of course, but just to get some positives heading into next year.
Vaughn off the mark after the 3 drilled by Washington's. Cavaliers get it back. That was Valladay off the mark, and another offensive rebound and a fresh 20.
You see how much Pitt is really packing the zone inside, daring UVA to shoot. That's a good interior pass there. That's going to get it done. That's a high percentage shot. And for Pitt, you got to rebound, right? You have to rebound against the zone. It's the hardest thing to do, but the boards is going to be where the game is won.
Camryn Taylor has Virginia on the board. First meeting between these two teams this season. We talked about the one last year. Cavs have won 4 straight, but it's been a while. Cam Taylor, you love her game, don't you?
Yeah, and you also like this bounce pass. London Clarkson, that took a good angle. And as you could see, Hutcherson was trying to get around in front. So you got to place that perfectly. And so, Cam Taylor and London Clarkson are two that are really starting to click, working together.
Washington, that's another 3, back iron, fight for the loose ball, and poked out of bounds to the Cavs. You're coming at me already with the bounce pass, feeding the bigs. Next thing is the mid-range. We're working down the checklist early on, aren't we?
It'll be there soon enough. Somebody's going to pull up. I will say, have you not seen more mid-range in the game this year than any? And it's being talked about. Okay, so I'm not so nerdy anymore, am I?
No, I think that's
great interior pass again.
Cavs grab the lead. London Clarkson fresh off the career-high 23. That loss at Carolina. I have heard more about the mid-range, to your point. I like that, and you have been banging that drum for a long period of time. So I'll give you a little bit of credit, not a ton. The dish inside, and an offensive foul is the call.
Yeah, Taylor set up, but let's go back to this offensive possession again. You got to really attack that elbow. If you're Pitt, you might want to send 2 players, or at least a taller player, to eliminate that easy look, that high-low. Right now, UVA is just going to exploit that and go with it.
Well, we saw the offensive rebounds on that last possession. Virginia, one of the top rebounding teams in the ACC, basically second in the conference through most major rebounding categories. Foul on the elbow.
I thought that was a good defensive adjustment by Pitt to send a taller Hayford over there to, again, attack that elbow. You don't want to get the post player that clean option of either dumping it down low or just taking it once off the bounce.
First personal on Hayford. Taylor at 73% at the strike, and she'll get one more. Coach Mox, year number 1, Missouri State. What a job. The defense. She's got a lot of great acronyms that surround the program, or hashtags, if you will, Brooke, that we enjoy talking with her about. yesterday, and I do want to get into some of those, including FAB.
Oh, you live by FAB, don't you? That is your whole personality, is Roy. All I think about is FAB. Oh, it stands for Family Academics Basketball. Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
It's a different kind of FAB. Understood. I love the GNSL though. Grind now, shine later. You definitely had her smiling. You could tell. Like, I know you got some Coach Moxisms. Give them to us.
Progress is a process. That was my favorite. I told her I was going to put it above my computer monitors. I'm talking about our broadcasting careers. Inside, Panthers get it back, but a shot clock violation. The long jumper never touched the rim.
And that's a good sign for Virginia. Good defense and a confidence builder. Pitt starting this game just 1 for 5. A lot of substitutions, as we've seen throughout the course of this season. Still trying to find that right lineup that's going to work for them.
6-0 run for the Cavs after the three-pointer by Washington. They'll have it back, trying to win their 4th game in the ACC this year, after just a 5-win campaign overall a year ago before the coaching change. Bounce pass to Taylor. She lost it. Claimed by King. Liatu King, also averaging in double figures, leads the Panthers in rebounding. And the 3, no. Strickland off the mark.
See how UVA responds. Pitt's done a good job of taking away some of that interior passing. Yeah, that's a tough catch. That'll be a foul. Trying to be aggressive, though. That's the right way if you're Pitt right now, because you see where UVA is going. They're trying to go inside almost every possession.
Aisha Exenor picked up the personal. That's her first. Pittsburgh's had 6 shots so far. 5 have been from downtown. You okay with that shot selection early on, Brooke?
Well, I think it's a little early, but, you know, again, you saw 5 different substitutions come in. So clearly Coach was not feeling the shot selection. I think anytime you're struggling to score, you got to focus on your defense. You got to focus on trying to get to the free throw line and attacking. If you come out and hit a couple of threes, yeah, keep taking them. I think Pitt can get some better looking shots. That's going to be a charge. Oh, wow, a block.
King, a blocking foul called, and free throws coming for the Panthers.
And that's the way to do it. I mean, I certainly would have preferred a mid-range pull-up jump shot. Shocking to hear her say that. But watch right here. You could get up in the ACC logo instead. You know, you're going to the free throw line, so you get a good result from it. You know, I just think sometimes players, and I see it so much in the women's game, is they continue to drive forward until you hit contact versus just pull up maybe a foot earlier and get a nice clean shot.
Every starter for Pittsburgh currently on the bench. King, one of the top players in terms of reserves, second leading scorer. Played football growing up. She shoots 65% at the line. Was pretty smooth on those 2 attempts. Taylor back on the floor after a brief breather. And it's a 1-point lead for the visitors from Charlottesville.
Yeah, so Pitt in a tandem 2-3, kind of lining up, stacked up, and the bottom player will go to that first pass. But UVA still trying to get right into the paint. Successfully, they do. And now, again, when you get against a zone, you have to find a body. You have to stay even more disciplined. Not a lot of Pitt players even boxing out on that possession.
Well, the offensive rebounds aplenty so far for the Cavs. Here's a steal. Panthers in transition. And a layup off the mark. 6-5 Cavaliers out in line. 6-5 Virginia leading Pittsburgh. Brooke, we talk a lot about defense. We talk a lot about rebounding, and maybe it's not the most inspiring topics, but for Virginia this year, they're one of the top rebounding teams in the ACC. It's made a difference so far this afternoon, right?
Yeah, they've doubled up and given themselves some second chances in life with 4 offensive rebounds, only converted on 2 points there. But, you know, it just gives you a small indication of how difficult it is, even at a team. You could look at their record, 14-9 and then 3-9 in the ACC. And you have no idea how physical this team is, you know, just by looking at that type of record. When you look at the ACC and how many teams, I mean, I think North Carolina State's in 8th place. It's still ranked 15th in the country. So it tells you top to bottom, and we hear it from coaches, it is a tough, physical, fast, elite conference.
Caden Lawson, that's a 3, in and out, and the rebound claimed by Liatu King. Panthers have missed their last 5, already 1 of 5 from deep, 1 of 7 from the floor to start.
So one way North Carolina exposed Virginia was through the fast break. And the transition defense from Virginia was not able to stop the ball a lot earlier. And so Carolina got some looks there. Now, unless Pitt can get a rebound, like we were just talking about coming out of that graphic, it's not going to be any fast break points for them today.
Dayshanette Harris off the bench, off the mark from 3. I want to ask you this question. Who's the best team in the ACC right now? When you look at Duke and Notre Dame tied at the top, and then all of these ranked teams in there. I mean, NC State at 15th in the country, just 6-5 in the conference. I mean, they're worth talking about, right?
Yeah, I mean, this is just elite basketball, and watching Duke manhandle Virginia Tech was something to be seen. Duke's defense this year is for real. It's a nightmare. And of course, Notre Dame, you know, losing Mabry, a huge dent to their season, but you still got Olivia Miles and a lot of good pieces and talent there under Coach Ivey.
Valladay with the 3. She had the career-high 30 in the last meeting with Pittsburgh. King no good. Cavaliers a chance to create some additional separation. 7 minutes in here in the Steel City. Kennedale. And saved by Exenor.
Well, Taylor Valladay wanted that basketball on offense over there on the wing, clapping her hands.
Did you have a team that you just excelled against no matter what? For example, Taylor Valladay, we mentioned the career high, and she wants it after hitting that early 3, but her career high goes against Pitt last year. Did you have a team like that inside? And the Panthers, Liatu King connects.
You know, I remember playing in gyms where I always felt like I played well. Elon was one of those. It was a comfortable gym. I remember always having a bad game against Liberty. That was pretty much a given. But you look at the career high for Valladay, and 30 points. You know, when you can score in the 30s, like that is sort of putting you at a different level confidence-wise. And for her to be over there clapping her hands, wanting the ball, like, I love that. I love that type of attitude. You know, she's a Chicago kid, so that is definitely the moxie right there.
I knew you were going to work in the Chicago factor
sooner
rather than later. Yeah.
Look, I've had coaches tell me that the teams that I've had that are the best always have a Chicago guard on them.
Okay.
And that is no lie.
King attacking, King the runner, gets it back, and Liatu King working hard. Fresh 20 again for the Panthers, who are starting to force their way on the offensive glass. And now Pittsburgh back in front with a deep 3.
You know, there's been so many scenarios for Pitt this year where they'll have a quarter or 2 within the game and not being able to put them together for 4 quarters, but they're shooting 40, 50%. So they're putting together minutes of stretches. It's just trying to get those consistently together, and shots like that will be deflating for you throughout the game if you can't hit them. Got to have some success inside. You know, thankfully Lewis hits that shot from 3 for Pitt, but those gimmies, those buckets, those little ones, you know, that will get you into the win column.
Now Lewis, the senior from Miami, just her 10th 3-ball of the season, now 10 of 33. King back to work, draws the contact. Liatu King has been aggressive early.
I like how they went right back to her. You know, give her that chance to be able to post up. She's got that quick spin move, able to get Pitt to the line.
2 free throws coming for King. Here's our Thursday night women's basketball doubleheader. Olivia Miles, you talked about her just a few minutes ago, leads number 9 Notre Dame against these Panthers. That's up first at 6 Eastern, then NC State. Maliyah Johnson, Wake Forest from Winston at 8 Eastern Thursday night here on ACC Network, also on the app. We saw Olivia Miles the NCAA tournament last year, got to know her a little bit, and I still maintain this. She's got the best vision of any point guard I've seen in the men's or women's game over the last 5 to 10 years. That's how exceptional she is.
It's pretty nice, right? I mean, she's seeing 2 and 3 passes ahead. She's just such a tough player. And what she's had to do this year, you know, she's going to have to step in for Mabry and create a lot of what Mabry brought to the table. As you take a look at all these ACC players, Latson's having a fantastic season, 22 points a game. Wow. Of course, Kitley, hopefully, I'd love to see her stay in college ball one more year just to be able to call more of her games. She'll decide after the season, of course. Deja Kelly, a big-time player for North Carolina, and Haley Van Lith out of Louisville. But he dropped close to 20 a game.
Another line change for head coach Lance White, so he's aggressive in getting the right 5 on the floor at the same time. Meanwhile, Pittsburgh in the midst of a 7-0 run and finding its offense and maybe finding its rebounding with Liatu King lately.
Yeah, I think, you know, the magic potion for them is, you know, trying to find some consistency, right? So if you can just go down to King, get her back in there, as you see how widely Pitt has used their offense this year. You got a lot of players playing a lot of minutes. So what's great about that is you have fresh legs. What's tough about that is to have very few alphas, but that is an alpha play like there, or right there from Hayford.
Amy Hayford, career high 12 the last game, and aggressive here, and a strong finish plus the foul.
Yeah, I got a little help from Hutcherson with the bump screen, and that's what you want to see. You know, I'd like to see Pitt try to go inside a little more, keep working it, and then those three-point shots will open up and fall.
Averaging just over 2 points per game, the explosive performance at top 20 Duke in a game that Pittsburgh only trailed by 4 in the fourth quarter. Very competitive, maybe one of the better performances we've seen from this group in 2023. 5-point advantage, a 9-0 run in less than 2 minutes by the Panthers. Katie Pauley on the floor for the first time. That's a 3 in and out. Cavaliers get it back.
They've not been able to go inside for a minute. Valladay finally getting that ball, and that's why she wanted the ball in her hands.
She's got 6. Panthers have made 3 of their last 5 after a 1-for-9 start. Shot clock is off here at the end of the first quarter. Great start for the home team in search of their first conference win of the year. Amber Brown's been held in check. Double team, forces it up and in. 16-12, 10 minutes in. Pittsburgh in search of that first conference victory. Well, coming up here as part of Play for K Week, Cam Taylor has a story to tell that she went through in that process, and Brooke, even to talk about it so openly now, certainly a tip of the cap, but an amazing story for her and for her family.
Yeah, we just want to share certainly our condolences for the loss of your mother, Nicole, and for what she had to deal with for most of her life. And to recognize, you know, mentally and emotionally, hey, I'm not in a great place. She had said that she was disassociating in practice, so just keep spacing out for long periods of time. And for a young person to understand that about her emotions and understand, hey, I need to step away and take care of my health first and heal this process and a huge loss. You know, I give her so much credit for recognizing that, and then for UVA staff to not only welcome her back, but to get her introduced to the game the right way, right? Get her in shape first so that there's no injuries, then start basketball and say, hey, you come back when you're ready. We are ready to have you, and it's great to see her thrive.
Very well said. Cam, thinking about you and your family.
Oh.
1 minute in to our second quarter. Cavaliers trailing by 4 in search of league win number 4, and a shot clock violation.
That's
Give
the
it
second
back
one.
to UVA. That's correct.
Coach over there still, you know, has engaged with his players, heading out of bounds. I saw he and Amber Brown share a smile earlier, and so you know, those moments in the game mean a lot because there's a lot of energy still being expended. You see a great effort at practice and shoot-around today. Watch it. Pitt players staying afterwards as you see Valladay take a wide-open lane and just capitalize on it, finish left. You know, but Pitt players are still coming out working hard, same with UVA. To me, that is also deserving of a lot of credit. It's easy to just sit hanging up and give in.
Valladay aggressive, already 6 shots. She's got 8 points. A game high 8. Senior guard out of Chicago, getting things done for the Cavaliers in search of a road dub. Not easy to do. 1 possession game. Stays with the Panthers in their pink out. They call it Pink to Pete. 16th annual in conjunction with Play for K. And a turnover on the inbounds. Taylor aggressive that time.
I wonder if UVA is going to try to go back to that corner elbow or the free throw line pass. See Pitt getting 7 points off turnovers. Again, if they can just get a little bit of a board or deflection here, get some run out points in the open floor, but hasn't hurt them so far today. They got a 2-point lead. and they are attacking big time. You see double and triple teaming almost by the ACC logo.
That's a three, and that time it's poured in by Vaughn. Her first bucket, Virginia back in front. After the freshman connects, Panthers back to work. Hutchinson short, rebounded by Amber Brown. And then on the pass outside, it floats out of bounds. I thought Amber had a path to the basket there for a minute.
Yeah, you know, you want to take the easy route, take the obvious, simple shot. You know, but sometimes your adrenaline gets the better part of you as well. So Pitt, you know, they're not settling for threes, and I think that's what you're excited about. Defensively, they're amping up the energy too on that zone, making it difficult for Virginia to score inside.
Panthers with 3 turnovers in this frame. No points so far. Cavs back in front. Virginia, tough loss at number 11, North Carolina. Their last time out, that's a 3. Rebounded by Pittsburgh. That's one thing. In this league, you play a team one night, chances are the next time out, you're going to face somebody that's ranked. And the game after that, you're going to face another team that's ranked. It's just the overall depth of the ACC that has been so tough this season.
And on any given night, you will face a pro or a pro prospect, somebody in the making who has the potential to do that. I mean, just look at these numbers here. Top 25, you see ACC all over the place, jumbled right in the middle between 9 and 16 too. Notre Dame and Duke. NC State is struggling, quote unquote struggling, and still ranked 15th.
Right.
So it just tells you how competitive this league is.
Channise Lewis hit that last 3. She's got 6 off the bench, perfect from distance. And that continues. She's got 9.
Love it. Love the rhythm, the passing, the confidence. Now Lewis looks relaxed out there.
Now she had 9 threes all.
Gatorade Fit.
Nate, right now at kyao.com. And Brooke, you think about it and you look at the numbers. 1 in 3 women will be diagnosed with cancer in their lifetime. It's estimated that nearly 1 million new cases of cancer will be diagnosed among women in 2023 alone. A call certainly worth supporting and honoring one of the all-time greats in the sport of basketball in the late Kyao.
And it's a time where, you know, coaches, there isn't a coach, I don't think, that hasn't been connected to, heard about, talked with, spent some time with Kyao. I mean, you hear her name as an icon in this game, and what she was able to do and how many players and coaches, just people that she touched. You know, Coach Mox lost her own mother, you know, to cancer, and you see the, out of almost 40 seasons, 34 of them at NC State, just the amount of accomplishments that she had. And even in addition to all this, the thing that people are going to remember about Coach K is just how personable and how genuine of a person that she really was.
Just doing more research on her and her life this week, as we do every year around this time, it seems like. But, you know, she had such a unique personality. She planned her own funeral, produced a 25-minute video that was shown there. And I mean, just somebody that gave back to others, that was always thinking of others across so many different fronts. An amazing life, and continuing to give back, obviously, long after, with the cancer research and all the millions of dollars that have been raised for cancer awareness. Foul inside. And that will put Dayshanette Harris at the stripe. So an interesting start here in our second quarter. Virginia opened up the frame with a 5-0 run. Pittsburgh answered back at 6-0. And we have a competitive ball game here in the ACC on this Sunday afternoon, right?
Yeah, no doubt about it. You know, Harris is trying to get on the scoreboard here, and that's the way to do it, is attack the glass. Pitt's done a good job of putting the ball on the floor and trying to break this game down and make it a bit simpler. Also hitting 4 threes certainly helps as well. And for UVA, you know, the points in the paint came pretty early on, but since then hit a halt. Just 6 points in the paint for UVA. That's surprising to me.
Cavaliers have it, trailing by 4. Valladay's been a big story. Aggressive on offense. Dale launching here, too strong. She'll race to grab the rebound and then lose it out of bounds.
And McKenna Dale, you know, one of those players too you can't forget about, because she can stretch the defense big time, especially against a zone. That's why they put her in the corner there and try to stretch that out, have her hit a couple of threes. And again, Pitt packing that zone inside. See the numbers that she had against North Carolina. They would love to see more of that today by Miss Dale.
Lewis gave up the chance for three. Now Malcolm sends it back outside to King. They'll move it around. Exenor. Taisha Exenor down a three-point make this season. Too strong. Cavaliers a chance to make it a one-possession game. They've missed their last 4 from the floor.
And Pitt now playing a 1-3-1 zone. Almost had that deflection. Boy, you could just feel that on the tips. Exenor thought she had a free layup on her hands. Pitt trying to change up that defense once again, now in a 1-3-1 zone.
Now Coach Mox talked with us this week about family atmosphere she promotes within her program and how that originated from her upbringing with all the cousins. Baseline jumper is good. It's a one-possession game. 23-21. Taylor connecting. She's got 6. It was an extended family. She said it. My brother, my sister, they're my best friends. Family is first, and that's something she adopted at Missouri State. Continues now in Charlottesville in her first season. Step back three, no, by Malcolm. Who wants it? Finally ripped away by the Cavs. That's Vaughn.
Good pass inside, and good cut by Dale. Better defense, Liatu King. Sent that one out, but once again, Virginia gets another life.
Nelson almost banked in a 3. Taylor hit the deck to grab the rebound. It may have been fouled in the process. I believe it was King that clipped her going down. So King picks up her first.
And get past that 1-3-1 defense is hit those corners, and a lot of times, like the way Dale did, you could cut and flash in the middle and find a nice opening.
Taylor off the mark from downtown. King clears. Panthers in transition, will push tempo. That's a 3 by Malcolm. And it connects.
The 5th 3 of the day for Pitt. And those are the kind of rhythm threes, Roy, especially transition. Remember, we talked about transition offense. That's where Pitt can shine today. And typically, you don't end up with a 3 in a transition game. And here's where they can just grab that. If King can just rip that ball away, I know she got a foul called. Rip it away and try to get out there in transition. This is just a nice pass. Just a little pocket pass underneath. Boom, boom, feet set, rhythm. That's the spot I always beat you at when we do have shooting contests too, by the way. That right wing, that's a good spot to hit a 3.
It's funny, I don't remember those contests. But you look at the freshman additions for Coach Lance White, that was his highest rated recruiting class coming in, and we're starting to see some dividends from that group. And you see Malcolm with the sweet stroke from the perimeter. She actually leads Pitt with that 41% three-point accuracy. She steps into one, she's got a chance to knock it down.
Yeah, she's got a really nice shot, and there's Washington's on the bench. She can give you a couple assists, and it's not easy. You're trying to rebuild a program, so you got to get young players in, and what that means is you're going to play right away. So to get thrown in a league like the ACC and still be able to put up any numbers is a good sign.
Malcolm thought about it, now launching a 3 and was drifting to the left. That's where the shot ended up. And a foul on the other side. McKenna Dale with a full head of steam. The guilty party.
Take another look at this one. Dale, there she is, number 44. Good setup by Lewis. Oh, I love this sneaky charge.
That was crafty, was it not?
Yes, yes. Always good whip. I'm always telling players, if you see somebody running up the floor and their heads turn, just go stand right in front of them, take the charge.
How about that?
Did that.
I can see you telling players that all day long. Great drive. Comes up short by Clarkson. Panthers have tied their largest lead at 5. Malcolm will try to change that. Not this time. And the rebound claimed by Pauly. Caden Lawson lost it. Free throws coming. Clarkson cleaned up the rebound. She will head to the stripe. Well, here's our Tuesday college basketball doubleheader right here on the ACC Network and the ESPN app. Louisville and Pitt right here inside the Peterson Event Center. It's up first at 7 Eastern, then NC State and sixth ranked Virginia at 9 Eastern Tuesday here on ACC Network, also on the ESPN app. Tony Bennett's Cavaliers, you know about the pack line, you know about the defense. Better offensively this year. Kind of reminds you of what they had, oh, I don't know, in 2019. So look out rest of the season on the men's side for UVA.
Okay, bold prediction, Mr. Philpott.
No prediction. I'm just saying that they are poised to
they are poised,
survive in advance. It is strange, though, because next month is March. March Madness is back for the men and the women. You got the Final Four for both sides in Houston this year. So there's a reason to be excited about what's around the corner. It's not that far away.
We got like 23 days, maybe 24 until March.
Okay.
It is right here.
Bracketology, Charlie Cream. Boy, his phone line's lighting up this time of year. He's got 8 teams in the field, tied for the most by any conference so far. Miami got a big dub earlier today against Georgia Tech at home. That's going to help out their resume.
In for a hot second as Washington takes a 3. Long ball falling today for the Pitt Panthers. Syracuse for a hot second was a topic of discussion. They had them against Louisville last week, and I said, all right, if Hughes wins, are they in? Are they next 4 out? Where are they at? So obviously they lost to Louisville, so non-discussion. But to have that many teams in the ACC, yeah, I was one of those people bugging Charlie last Sunday. Hey, if this happens, what do you think? What do you think? The hotline is open for Mr. Cream.
Oh, the hotline. Virginia in search of hot shooting. 1 of 10 from the floor. The last 10 shots. Pittsburgh from behind the three-point arc, getting it done already. 6 makes, 7% above their season average at this point. Now with their largest lead, Washington has been a factor. Channise Lewis has been active. Amber Brown yet to crack the scoring column.
So that's where Brown could have just caught it and went up with it. No reason to take a couple of extra dribbles and, again, go into contact, hoping the foul's going to get called. It doesn't. If you got a clean shot and you're right there, just take it. Good head.
Caden Lawson, she took it, couldn't finish. Maliyah Johnson with a high ball screen. Washington's directing traffic. Panthers 5-7 at home this year in search of that conference win. Never easy. Part of February. Maliyah Johnson stop and pop, no.
Can't fall in love with the 3 though if you're Pitt. I know you've hit a couple, but again, mix it up. Try to go back to the inside. This is where the inconsistencies happen, right? You have a couple of hit 3s and then you want to fall in love with it. But you got to start to stay disciplined and try to go inside again.
Yeah, early three-point makes can lead to fool's gold in the second half.
Yeah.
And the shot clock turned off. 7-point lead for the Panthers. Coach Mock's got work to do at halftime.
Well, to me, it's about how do you get more touches to Clarkson on the inside, and I want to go back to what's worked Taylor as well. I just don't think UVA has gone. To me, they've gone away from their game plan because Pittsburgh's taken away that high post pass, and so otherwise they're just trying to work and get the ball inside. They can't get it done.
Cavaliers will close the quarter, just 3 of 15 from the floor. Final possession, the Panthers choose so. The strip. Hutcherson got it back, couldn't finish. That's how the first half comes to a close. 29-22 our score at the break. Panthers have their largest lead of the game. Halftime report coming up moments from now after this quick message.
All right, Roy, it's a 7-point lead for Pitt at home over Virginia.
They can get points in the paint if they can just play a little more patiently, right? I mean, that's the touches came early on in the game, and then as soon as Pitt made an adjustment defensively on their zone, it was to me as if UVA stopped looking to go inside. So I think they can, you know, do some screening down low, maybe go guard to post as well. You got to get London Clarkson some touches. I've seen her work so hard like she is even now in this possession, and them not giving her the ball.
Valladay got back her own miss and was fouled on the floor. Coming in there was Gabby Hutcherson. So 22 picks up her first personal. Relatively clean first half in terms of fouls. 3-point shooting, the difference as Pittsburgh is able to make 6 of 17 from deep. As we mentioned, Virginia was 3 of 18. Final feed the post, inside to Taylor, there it is.
Yep, that's what you want to see, and good job by Taylor to get good position. She was able to kind of come around that backside and seal her defender off behind her.
5 of those 6 3-point makes between Marley and Channise. And the differential so far, good start for the Cavs here on the road to begin our third quarter. 1 minute in. Hard hit and an offensive foul. Boy, Washington's hit the deck pretty hard. You draw the personal. Comes up smiling.
Washington's set up because she read this play really well. You can see it coming. And Valladay, see our head turned toward the side that entire time. Now, Roy, if she's setting up just outside that charge circle, it would have stopped Valladay from going 1 foot behind that and jumping and hitting a quick little shot. That's what I'm thinking. Don't make it harder than it needs to be. You have a 4-foot jump shot, take it. Nobody stopped her the whole way down.
How great was it seeing Ivory Latta in studio with Drew Carter there for the halftime report. Ivory has the key to the city, Drew. She's got the key to the city as at York, South Carolina. I mean, one of the all-time greats come out of the Palmetto State. I want to give her a shout out. It's great seeing her on TV and after a great career. Rightfully so, going all the way back to high school, then at Carolina, then in the W. Always love seeing some new faces and seeing and listening to her.
Yeah, it's been great having Ivory Latta, having Lexi Brown. We got Duke, North Carolina. We got a lot of different voices here on the ACC network. It's been awesome.
You never got the key to the city, did you? You didn't get a key to any city.
What city? What city's that? They probably wanted me to leave before they're going to give me the key. Like, maybe lock her out, be my guess. Look at Clarkson. That's what you want for better defense by Pitt. Bodying up.
Nixon rejected. Panthers searching for first points here. Our third quarter. Johnson up and under.
What a great move. That's probably the best move we've seen today in offensive possession by Pitt. Take more of that.
Sophomore out of Columbus, Ohio. I don't know if there was an extra step involved, but it did look good. And a chance for 4. That was McKenna Dale.
My goodness, McKenna Dale. Just the concentration to finish this shot. Let's take another look at this one. Dale will be at the top of your key. Quick pass from Valladay. Ooh, that was a very late screen, or foul, I should say, from Washington. Better sell by Dale.
Looking for the 4-point play, and Dale perfect at the line so far today. 79% on the season, just like that, a 1-possession game.
UVA's defense starting to ratchet up. Pick up Lewis a little earlier here. That's what you can do for UVA. Knowing how physical you are on the inside, the guards, if the guards can step out and pressure, it makes life just terrible. If you're Pitt and the guard's trying to get any kind of ball inside, you can't do it. You've got aggressive defense in your face, it makes it really hard.
That's a 3 by Malcolm. Comes up short, chased down by Virginia. How hard is it for Pitt knowing they've been in so many close games this year? Dale, that's a 3. We're tied at 31. And I was just going to ask you to just make sure that you're checking all the boxes to try to secure that first conference win when mentally you've been so close so many times and fallen just short, Brooke.
You know what, so sometimes is people don't realize it's one thing to be talented, And it's a completely different thing to be talented and consistent, right? You'd much rather have a 1% get better every day kind of road to your success than just have, one quarter you shoot 50%, the next is 25. Pitt's trying to find that. And it's going to take tough plays like that. Like, what is going to get them the win today has nothing to do with X's and O's. Yeah, of course, the ball's got to go in the basket. I get you. But it's the edge. Like, who is going to say, you're not pushing this button anymore? We're not taking this L. We're going to defend our home floor.
Liatu King, a prime candidate now with 8 and 6. That stopped a 7-0 run by McKenna Dale, including the 4-point play that tied us up at 31. Well, Dale stepped up against North Carolina in the loss, helped stretch the defense. She is doing that here to begin our second half this afternoon. 15-9 in that effort. Well, the Tar Heels falling at Louisville today. I thought that was certainly newsworthy. You mentioned Louisville, probably not the season they've expected so far, but clearly still very talented with Haley Van Lith.
Yeah, and Carolina has had up and down games all season long, as almost the 3 falls for UVA and Dale. Yeah, but Carolina, they'll come back from 16 down. So sometimes you'll think they're out of it, and all of a sudden they pull off an incredible win. But Louisville, don't forget about them now. I know it's not maybe a top 5 year for them. They still are talented.
You look at some of the scores from around the ACC. We mentioned that Louisville upset, in quotations, over top 15 North Carolina. And also, even out of the league, LSU and Angel Reese, really one of the big stories in college basketball this season. Taylor no good on the diving attempt out of bounds.
Yeah, I don't think there's too many more electrifying players this year. I mean, Caitlin Clark certainly up there. Leah Boston always up there as well as National Player of the Year. As Pitt gets that pull-up J to work. But Angel Reese brings the flavor, if I will, as we've seen. Just such a dynamic, electric, confident player. And just somebody that's doing just incredible things. I mean, blocking shots with a shoe in her hand, just licking her fingers after a play, doing TikTok dances. We haven't seen all this being blended in at one time, Roy.
4-point advantage for Pitt after the bucket by Harris. Liatu King heads to the bench. I feel like Pittsburgh has survived that first onslaught from the Cavs, and here's a turnover. Now in transition, a little coast to coast. Harris connects.
Not a lot of turnovers in this game. That's just the 10th for UVA so far. Pitt capitalizing those. We talked about open court points off of deflections, off of steals, and now Pitt with a 6-point lead. Starting to feel themselves a little bit. You see that confidence building.
Cavaliers call a 30-second timeout. Well, a special afternoon here at the Pitt. Breast cancer survivors walked out with a team. We'll explain more on the details coming up.
Something coming, I can feel it deep down in my spirit. Greatness, yeah, it feels like greatness.
3 ball. Let me show you all the swag I got right here.
Legendary in the make.
Maliyah Johnson.
16th annual Pink the Pitt in connection with Play for K. As breast cancer survivors walk the team out today, you see the shoes also worn by the Panthers coaching staff, a pink out, and just overall tremendous awareness as cancer survivors also recognized at halftime here in this matchup against Virginia. We remind you as well, support the K-Yow Cancer Fund in partnership with the WBCA and the V Foundation for Cancer Research. Do that now by donating at kyow.com. That is kyow.com. Brooke Weisberg, Roy Philpott back in Pittsburgh. 6-point lead for the home team in search of league victory #1 against Virginia, who comes in at 14-9, 3-9 in the ACC. Cavs on their heels a little bit after starting the third quarter strong, Brooke.
And Pitt starting off and defensively tough, but the call going to go the other way for Pitt. Wow, thought that was going to get certainly some free throws for UVA and Taylor, but instead, great heads-up play. Pitt started that possession very aggressive defensively. I wonder if this is going to be the way for them to get their first win in the ACC.
Gatorade.
And we welcome you back to ACC Network Basketball, presented by Food Lion. Third personal foul on Camryn Taylor. Check out the react after this charge, and Pittsburgh all of a sudden starting to surge.
Ooh, Lewis barely got her foot outside of that charge circle. Look, her left is in, her right is, oh gosh, that's as close as you can get. She's trying to say charge circle. Charge circle. She feels like that was a call. That was usually like, yeah, that's a little grand after you get somebody on the charge. That's the second time. Now we've seen her sneak and come up and get that charge.
Camryn Taylor with the 3 fouls, her team trailing by 6. So a big story there for Virginia's leading scorer to be on the bench. Meanwhile, Pittsburgh's run off 6 straight after Virginia had 7 in a row to tie us up at 31. So the Panthers not going away, and you see all the scoring coming from the bench so far today. There's Harris for 3, and her hot shooting continues.
Well, we mentioned how Pitt, you know, their leading scorer is only at 10 points a game, basically, with Amber Brown. And so a lot of different players today. 8 have scored for Pitt. It's a great sign, and again, you need somebody, anybody at this point to step up, and it looks like there's more than a few that are willing today.
9-0 run. Panthers have their largest lead. Dale bounces that one out of bounds. Dayshanette Harris, you thought she was going to play well today, Brooke, and she has.
Yeah, great read off the screen. Sees the defense going down low, so she pops out. The help is late. Yeah, bench loving it. Got to stick together too if your teams that are struggling to get wins, just like you know, Pitt, UVA trying to turn their season around. They've got 14 wins overall, but again 3-9 in the conference. So you know, it's moments like this where you grow as teams, even though the record doesn't reflect it. In moments in tough games, are you going to fall apart, or is somebody going to keep the team together?
Harris off the glass, down it goes, and a chance for 3, and the flex in the process.
Well, I do remember, Roy, you putting a little memo out there today to talk about, do we feature her in the open, and we'll see what's going to happen. And yeah, she is pulling through today. That's Harris with the big time flex on him. Got to hit that and one. Watch this play here. Boom, down the lane, little fake pass just to sell the defense a bit and hit the tough shot with the free throw.
We were tied at 31. That was over 3.5 minutes ago. Since then, an entirely different game, and Harris now has 11. Panthers back in the zone. I wonder where the offense is going to come from, especially with Taylor on the bench. And a foul inside. Clarkson was working to get open. She only has 3 points today.
Yeah, not a lot of touches. I just think maybe she could run off some screens or do some switch-ups and bring her out just to get her some touches and involved in the offense, because it's, as she goes to the line, which is great for UVA, it's not just about like getting her a perfect pass on the block and let her finish. We've seen her, especially against North Carolina, she can grab that ball at the free throw line. 1, 2 dribbles, make a move. We haven't seen a whole lot of that in this game. Because Pitt has done a great job of taking away that look, and the guards, again, are pressuring UVA's guards. Even on that zone, they're making it difficult to look easy on the inside.
Oh, Clarkson now with 4 points, 1 of 2 at the line. Cavs are shooting free throws the rest of this quarter, just over 3 minutes to go in the third. Panthers have made 4 straight, led by Harris. She's feeling it. Not this time. Pops out to Brown. And tapped out. It'll stay on this end. I love the close-ups of the facial expressions. You saw Amber Brown there. She's expecting to do more here today. I mean, she's one of the leaders, one of the relentless workers for Pittsburgh. Missed the chippy. Panthers get it back no matter. And the bucket's good by Maliyah Johnson.
Yeah, Johnson, those are her first 2 points of the game. You see even Pitt, the depth of which they've been able to score today. Their bench has been outstanding. 31-0 bench points.
14-1 run after we were tied at 31 after the 7-point run by McKenna Dale. Dale top of the key, no. And she'll get it back.
Valadie kept that play alive. Remember, she was the one to pull her teammates together at the end of the first half. Now they're going to go with a double high screen to see if they can create good defense.
Harris ripped it away with the steal and then turns it over on the pass out of bounds, trying to spot Johnson.
Those are the missteps, and you know, it's great for her to just kind of take that quick, right? She said, my bad. You get a little too excited. Knowing you're close to your first ACC win here, there's so much time left. We've got 12 minutes left in this ball game. So Pitt's got to settle in, and Virginia is so tough. They are not going away. Great positioning there, yeah. Good play.
Good look inside for Taylor, back on the floor with the 3 personal fouls, trailing by 11. We mentioned this in the first half, but we talked with Lance White this morning, and I think we were both a little taken back by his optimism, and just in the sense that Pittsburgh has been close this year. You're 0-11 in the league, and there was no shortage of energy. There was no shortage of enthusiasm. And I think if you talk to him and ask him, Coach, what do you think happens today? It wasn't just coach speak. He would tell you, I think we're going to win. I think he believed that, and I think his team believed that, despite this slow start here in 2022-23.
Well, I think he can go back to quarters and moments and success, especially against a team like Duke, where you force, I believe they forced 18 turnovers against Duke. Those are moments you can really hang your hat on, and he's spent enough time in this league, certainly as an assistant at Florida State. He knows what it takes to win in the ACC, so clearly he's seeing that in his team. He's seeing their ability, and so like a great coach should, he's raising that level of positivity and belief in his team without being toxic about it. I mean, we've seen, we talked about Coach Yo a lot at Ole Miss. She turned that program around and did it by doing those types of discussions and talks with her team.
So Taylor, the bucket on the last possession, fouled on this one. Yeah, 15 years at Florida State as an assistant, and you think about all of the runs that they made in the NCAA tournament those years. Don't forget, every Thursday at 10 Eastern, right after our women's basketball doubleheader, our Nothing But Net crew breaks down the night in the ACC with the highlights and analysis of every women's game, and a look ahead to the best games on the schedule in the coming weekend. That's coverage you can only get in one place, right here, the ACC Network, also on the ESPN app. I see you, Kelly Grammer. I see you on Twitter. Bang of the ACC
Mama.
drum. Getting it done.
Hey,
That's
Mama.
right.
Let's
That's
go.
right.
Joining the Mama Club soon. We'd love to hear it. Congrats.
She's on the call with Sam Ravitch in the game that follows ours. Give details on that in the fourth quarter. Taylor now with 10 to lead down to 9. Here's Harris. Confident third quarter. Turns it over, though, for the second time. Here come the Cavs. A critical stretch now at the end of the third. 5-second differential between the clocks. Strickland, no. Check that. That was Smith off the mark. Shot clock is off for Pittsburgh. 7-point lead at halftime. It's grown to 9. It's been as high as 13 here in the third.
A lot of teams like to create, and that'll be a foul on UVA, but like to create when the shot clock's running down, Roy. You know, they'll bring that big post up for that high ball screen. It gives the guards a lot of option to just kind of move freely about once you get past that. If UVA was trying to trap that, or what happened to get that foul?
Vaughn,
confused.
a little bit too much with the hands. She picks up her second. Harris, the jump stop. Harris, the finish in traffic. Dayshanette Harris, the senior from Youngstown, Ohio. 13 points today. And exploding in our third quarter as the Panthers in the third on a 16-5 run. And the lead is 11. 10 minutes to go in the Steel City. Panthers on their way.
All right.
Running a food pantry can be a lot of work, but thankfully, I've got a lot of help. Good morning.
We brought back
Dame. So Virginia hoping to get her back sooner rather than later. And the Cavs with work to do to try to get back in this one. Trailing by 11, it was as high as 13 in the third. offense simply has not been there so far, Brooke.
Yeah, that inside offense, I think, is what really needs to happen more. I mean, look at how hard she's posting up. Cam Taylor is, and that's a late pass. That's a hard play to make for her where she caught it. And unfortunately, she gets bailed out. And there's Sam Brunel there. And boy, they could really, really use a player like her in right now to be able to stretch both the offense and then the defense. You know, she can block shots. She can read so well and pass. She's got so many different weapons, and throughout her career, just the journey through the injuries and resiliency and coming back. I mean, we just wish her the best, because boy, she's been through it.
She has, and I mean, she's been battling this foot injury for basically the last 6 or 7 games. Hasn't been practicing, only playing on game day. So hopefully a time to heal and rest and get better. Runners off the mark by Valladay, still scoreless in the second half for Taylor. And the runner on the other end by Pitt, no. Hutcherson gets it back and was fouled on the floor. Certainly, Brunel would have made a difference in the post. 6'2" frame. Graduate student, originally from the Commonwealth of Virginia, coming back home to close out her college career after a great start at Notre Dame.
She's got a coach pose to her right there. Does that not look like a head coaching pose?
Well said.
Yeah. Sometimes, you know, you just kind of see things in players. It's like, you might be a broadcaster one day. Look at Sam Brunel. She does broadcasting now, but you can certainly see that that look about her analyzing the game.
Hoping that left foot heals
quickly
and properly. Our next All Access, the ACC Life, is a very special one. It premieres tomorrow night. You'll take an emotional journey with ACC student athletes and administrators from all 15 ACC schools. They travel to Montgomery and Selma, Alabama to experience and learn more about the civil rights movement, highlighted by a march across the Edmund Pettus Bridge. Gallon Cup hosts ACC Unite, Selma to Montgomery, 7 Eastern, right here on ACC Network, also on the ESPN app. That is coming up tomorrow night, and you saw the preview during the halftime report, and it'll get you going. It's something I think we all could learn from and all need to watch coming up tomorrow night. And we look forward to that well-produced piece.
Well said.
Well, a brief stoppage here is over to the scorers table, and this officiating crew will have another look. Kevin Sparrock, Rod Creech, and Erica Harriman. This ACC crew today. Now the Cavaliers just 36 points, their season low, 54 at Notre Dame. That's certainly in jeopardy. And they're double checking to make sure if that was a foul on the floor or a shooting foul.
Well, either way, the key for UVA to get back in this game is to go inside. Just 10 points in the paint for them. They've had 18 offensive rebounds, but just 11 second chance points. So that's an area where, you know, had they converted a few more of those and just some opportunities, it'd be a closer game.
Harris has 13 points, make it 14. Her season high is 17.
Interesting, too, for Pitt to force 13 turnovers in this game in a very aggressive zone. Usually you don't see a whole lot of turnovers with a zone, but the way Pitt is playing it today, doubling, kind of jumping at the ball, mix up between a tandem 2-3, 1-3-1. They're making it difficult for UVA.
The close games, the close losses. And Lance White, we asked him about the overall toughness of the ACC this year. He's seen it from so many different seasons, both at Florida State and at Pitt. And he said it's never been deeper. It's never been tougher than the run that you're having to go through now. The gauntlet, Brooke, as you framed it in our Zoom call today. And that plays a role in the slow start.
Yeah, no doubt. This team trying to figure themselves out to find a win. There's that move again. No time that one not falling for Hayford. Yeah, I mean, you put Pitt in a, outside of the ACC in a mid-major conference, and they're likely to be, 8-3, 9-2.
Cavs can't buy a bucket. here in the fourth, 2.5 minutes in, trailing by 12. It'll stay with UVA. It's a program that won only 5 games a year ago. Coach Mox comes in. Obviously, a lot has changed along those lines. Already with 14 dubs, 3 in the league. And most wins since back in 2018. That's now 5 years ago, unfortunately. That just means we're all getting older. The fact that 2018 is that long ago.
Just you. Well, it takes time, you know, and Coach Mox has done this quickly, but to go from 5 wins and nearly triple them already, including more point production, is huge. And to do it with injuries this year, right? We just mentioned Sam Brunell, one of their key scorers, or would be, out.
Clarkson fought for the offensive rebound, a fresh 20 after the miss by Gale. I think Valladay wants to get back involved at some point. Scoreless in the second half. Shot clock under 10.
UVA looks confused. They look like they weren't sure who wanted that ball, but Smith said, I got it. I got the pull-up J.
She averages 5, the Minnesota transfer. So 4 boards. Virginia applying pressure and gets the turnover. Lead down to 10. Smith comes away with it.
And Coach Mox with the let's go sign. She wants to see some movement.
Smith, another bucket. How about a burst from 23? The steal, a couple of hoops. And UVA right back in it with 6.5 to go and a timeout. Coach Mox back to the drawing board. Here comes the pressure from the Cavs. ACC Network Basketball is presented by Food Lion, official grocer of the ACC. Back in Pittsburgh, PA, Brooke Weisbrod, Roy Philpott. Here come the Cavs. 2 straight buckets by Smith and a steal. And the lead once at 13 has now been whittled down to merely 8. And bench scoring, Smith has got all 4 points for the Cavs off the bench. That's come in the last 30 seconds. Outside of that, and before that, Brooke, it was 34-0 in favor of the Panthers. How about that?
Yeah, we knew that Pitt was going to play a lot of players. You know, they make wholesale substitutions 5 at a time. But I don't think I've had a game where at one point it was 33-0 bench points.
Cavs turning up the pressure on defense, a trademark for Coach Mox. Brown was wide open from distance, not her spot, has yet to attempt a 3 this year. Brown gets it back.
Giving her too.
Bounce pass in traffic and a steal. Dale rips it away. And a foul. That goes against Hayford, her second.
No, I think Hayford caught her into traveling. Actually just got in front of her, almost took a charge, and instead there was a travel.
Good call by you. That's exactly right. And turnover number 14 for UVA.
Great job by Hayford. Get in front. Look, she didn't know she had the charge, so she kind of backed out and just bothered her enough and forced Vaughn into the turnover.
And the Panthers give it right back on the errant pass by Hutcherson. An opening now for UVA. Valladay. Well short with the left hand. And did King travel? She did. She'll give it back to the Cavs.
Well, both teams are just canceling each other out, giving each other an opportunity to take a lead and finish this game out. If you're Pitt or Virginia, like, the life is still there. And if I'm both coaches right now, what I'm telling my team is play aggressive. Like, don't give that up. Remember when I said this game's not going to come down to X's and O's at the end? It's about aggressive. Just go out there and make some plays.
Smith from downtown. She scored 7 straight. And now it's a 5-point game after a sloppy last 60 seconds. Smith has been the spark Coach Mox has been in search of. Coming off the Virginia bench, Hutcherson inside, in and out. Who wants it? King's got the rebound. Hutcherson launching. Here comes Virginia.
You got a fresh 30. I don't think you take that 3, Roy. That's not the shot you take.
Valladay. That would have been huge and tapped out back to Pitt.
Yeah,
and that was Vaughn that launched the three.
Yeah, just 1 of 6. I don't know if that's a shot you want to take if you're Pitt or Virginia either. It's these two teams, they're doing everything to win and lose this game at the same time.
Cavs in the midst of a 7-0 run, however. Johnson thought about the three, then thought better of it, just 31% from downtown. Halfway through the fourth.
Get a screen. There you go. Get a chance to drive.
Lead back to 7. The reverse is there by Clarkson. Well, circus act down low, right?
Right? Hard shot to hit. And where's Clarkson been? UVA has needed her presence inside all game. That's what she can give you, so give her the ball. Finally gets it in a good spot and goes underneath King. Double team. Left hand? Ooh. There's a high degree of difficulty here.
Lead back to 5. Clarkson has 6, coming off a career-high 23 in the loss at North Carolina. And a foul called is Valladay. He's too physical in that full court defense. Coach Mox
can hear
not
Coach
happy.
Mox. No, it did not feel like that was a foul at all. Just felt like that was hard defense. From here, it appeared to be the same. I'm trying to get some clarification. Some extra chirping going on.
This game has gotten a little chippier in the fourth. Tapped out, it'll stay with Pittsburgh. And you can feel momentum for the first time really all day today on Virginia's side. Their last lead was way back when it was 17-16 early in the second quarter.
Yeah, it's about playing to win right now, all right? And not playing as if you're scared not to lose. So you want to stay aggressive and stay in the moment. For Pitt, I like the way they're moving the ball in this possession. They're looking inside, they don't have it. Can Lewis drive, or is she gonna have to settle for a tough shot?
5 to shoot, Lewis back iron. Rebounded, no. Put back, no. And the Panthers escape with it, and a foul was called. Boy, Amber Brown aggressive, and she simply willed her way to get the basketball.
Yeah, this is a group here of tough ladies going at the ball here. Watch Dayshanette Harris, number 1, the middle of your screen. Keep the ball alive right there. Catches it and throws it out before she gets called for a walk. And then more players diving on the floor. Amber Brown right there hitting up. That incredibly hard heads-up play there by Harris.
Third foul on Valladay. And we're also being told that Coach Mox is given a warning on the bench after that last conversation with this officiating crew. First free throw made by Brown. Panthers shooting free throws the rest of the game. Cavs already with 5 fouls here in the fourth. Does Virginia have that one last run in it?
That Pitt defense, look at all those pink jerseys around 34 and 20. They don't want them to get the ball inside at all, but Clarkson rips one away.
52-47, Clarkson the bucket on the offensive rebound. She has 8. Here comes the pressure. Approaching 3 minutes to go. Paper did a good job not to travel. She kept that pivot foot stationary. And a chance for 3 while we were waiting on the block charge call. The finish by Johnson under duress.
Yeah, it could be the drive of the game right here. Johnson. Goodness. I mean, that's as close as it could be. That, to me, that's a charge. And Johnson with a huge bucket to give Pitt just a bit of breathing room.
8 points tonight, lead back to 7. Foul called on Valladay, and that's her 4th. So Taylor Valladay, 8 points go to the bench. Free throw is missed. Taylor clears. Cavs foul problems mounting up. Taylor with 4, Valladay with 4, Dale off the mark. And that was Pauly over the back, so more free throws now for Pitt. And this was close.
Valladay is there, and it's not about having your feet set. It's about establishing defensive position before the offensive player leaves the floor. So, you know, perhaps that was just the slight tick they were looking for to call the block instead of the charge. Perhaps Johnson was on her way up before Valladay was able to establish defensive position. Great heads-up play, but at 4 fouls, I mean, she'll get back in this game probably before 2 minutes would be my guess.
Quite a performance for the sophomore Maliyah Johnson. Had a chance for the and one moments ago on the layup play we just showed you. 2 free throws here, and 1 more to give her 10 points today. 2 of 3 at the line. Pittsburgh has lost 20 ACC games in a row. Its last win coming at Clemson more than a year ago. All that on the verge of falling by the wayside here at home at the Pitt. Cavs back to work. Runner off glass is good by Taylor.
And UVA able to establish their press, try to get some turnovers off that, but Pitt has done a good job of not panicking, spreading it out, and then slowing it down to take as much time as they can off the shot clock.
And Taylor, game high 14 for the Cavs. Big possession, Virginia in search of 1 stop. Facing the 7-point deficit.
Smart.
Johnson couldn't answer, Dale clears. McKenna Dale gets it to Taylor, who's fouled on the floor. And that's just the 2nd team foul for Pitt here in the 4th. No free throws.
So UVA has the right idea. Right now they're really recognizing, hey, we've got to get the ball inside to Taylor when she's in, and Clarkson, who's not in the game right now, but got to find 20.
Oh, miscommunication on the inbounds. Dale going one way and the pass coming from Vaughn going the other. Turnover number 15.
So Coach Mox trying to get the press set up, and we'll watch this here. Oh, look, Taylor was so open after that screen. My goodness.
Trapping full court pressure. Cavs have cut the deficit to 5 3 different times here in the 4th quarter, but no closer. Now in search of and in desperate need of several stops in a row.
And so close to turning it over just on that possession. Almost a 10-second backcourt. If that's on Valladay, she's out.
Well, the foul called on Taylor Valladay, and that will be it. A fast start, not the finish she wanted. She fouls out with 8 points, Brooke.
Yeah, tough day for her. I know she was just so competitive out there on the floor and so vocal. And this one is going to sting. And certainly when you're that way and you're just frustrated and you foul out on a day like this.
Hayford knocks it down. 1 shot awarded there. Did I miscalculate that foul?
Your math is always better than mine, so usually I trust you, but yeah, you would have thought. I'll have to go back and check that. Yeah, you would have thought another shot.
Well, the official stopped the free throw before it was attempted to indicate it was just one shot, but it was a foul on the top of the key. We can go back and double check, but an interesting sequence. Nonetheless, Pitt still with an 8-point lead and only 69 seconds to go in prime position. So apparently we're being told there was a lane violation that led to just the one free throw attempt.
Got it.
Now the bigger story, Pittsburgh on the verge of notching that first league win, stopping a long streak that goes back to last year, 20 straight ACC setbacks. And this has been an impressive effort from the Pittsburgh bench. Dayshanette Harris, Liatu King, and Maliyah Johnson in particular coming up when Pitt needed it the most.
Well, looking at the game today, you get a sense and feel, especially these last few minutes, that Pitt had an advantage on the boards. They did not. They've actually been out-rebounded by 10. And UVA has not capitalized on 22 offensive rebounds. Coach Mox wanting the foul call, and she could use every second she can in this game. Doesn't want to waste any, obviously. And still a little bit of life left for her team. Stranger things have happened. Certainly UVA cannot waste one moment of time.
No free throws now for the Panthers. Not done just yet, as Brooke indicated. Liatu King connects. Another good performance for her. 9 points, 9 rebounds, and has been perfect at the charity stripe. 6 for 6, double figures for Liatu King. And a timeout called, and Coach Mox talk things over. We're back in 30 seconds. Come back with us for the conclusion here in Pittsburgh. We welcome you back to ACC Network Basketball, presented by Food Lion, and an upset in the works in the Steel City. The Panthers in search of that first conference win on the verge. 45 seconds to go. Cavs need a couple of big buckets and a couple of stops, and a whole lot more perhaps, and not on that possession off the fingertips of Pauly, and back to Pitt.
Yeah, it's a tough pass for Vaughn to make. A set play, trying to grab a screen and get a three in the corner, and Vaughn kind of making that play and pass off her heels. Just sails over the head of Pauly.
Panthers will call a timeout for Lance White. You know this one's going to feel a little bit better than most after this long streak comes to a close. And, you know, the Panthers defensively, league play, they've been tough to score against. You go back to the loss at Duke, it was only a 4-point game in the fourth quarter. Blue Devils held to just 53 points in that one, their second lowest point total of the season. Duke had a big win earlier today, right, against Notre Dame?
Yes, big time win, 5-point win for Duke over Notre Dame. And we mentioned Duke's defense and just how stifling it has been this year. And watching them in person go against Virginia Tech was something to see. So, yeah, the ACC just continues to get a little bit juicier. Cannot wait for this tournament we have coming up in a few weeks. And the NCAA tournament, oh, it's going to be a good one this year.
Clemson and Wake Forest coming up as soon as we're done here in Pittsburgh. Get you to that game if you're tuning in for that one as soon as we're done here at Pitt. Another foul, and that means free throws for Channise Lewis. Had 9 points in the first half. Scoreless so far in the second. A couple of critical three-pointers. Maryland transfer. She set out last season with that knee injury. Go back to the 2 national championships she won in high school, playing for Miami Country Day back in the day, bro.
Yeah, had a chance to call those games and watch her and some of the young superstars that we continue to see blossom and grow. I think about Janiah Barker at Texas A&M. Coach Mox calling one more timeout. Just want to maybe get a set play and see success, right? Because there's been a few of those that have led to turnovers. So if I'm Coach Mox right now, yeah, maybe I'm not going to get out of here with a win. I want to see something positive for my team to end this game on.
News and notes from around the conference. We talked a little bit about Duke and Notre Dame. Now some separation occurring between those two. No longer tied at the top. as Duke improves to 10-3, Fighting Irish fall to 9-4. But you got 6 teams ranked in the top 25. You know what's going on in Tallahassee. Latson scoring again. I mean, she's just a bucket getter, leading the country in terms of first-year players and leading the ACC, Brooke.
Oh, she has been phenomenal, fantastic. Brooke Wyckoff has a good player and future on her hands.
.35 seconds and change remaining. That was Duke. I mentioned a 5-point dub, 57-52. In what was a low-scoring game in South Bend. Curious to see which team from the league is able to make the deepest run in this year's standings. Before we get out of here, what are your thoughts on that? Is it Olivia Miles in Notre Dame? Is it Duke in that defense?
I think it could be a Sweet 16, Elite 8 type of year, yes, for Duke. If I'm going to put my stamp on a team right now, I'm feeling a slight edge to Notre Dame, and that is just like a hair tick above. But I think any team has the ability, in this league especially, to go far in the tournament. I mean, I remember a few years ago when many of the teams who are in the ACC now were in the Big East, and 3 of the 4 teams in the Final Four were from one conference. So, like, that's the kind of talent that you have when you look across the board. This league, the SEC, Big 12, I mean, a lot of talents, but nowhere in the ACC, no conference to me is like the ACC when you have so many ranked teams.
Got to think that NC State or Louisville could have something to say about what the tournament likes next month. I mean, again, March Madness is here as in next month. It's not that far away. ACC tournament will be here before you know it. That's what makes all of these games so important. And right now, Charlie Cream tells us 8 teams from the conference in the field, including Miami, who won earlier today against Georgia Tech at home, among the last 4 in.
I really also like Virginia Tech and Elizabeth Kitley, and the fact that they are an experienced team. You've got a lot of super seniors and just well-coached, disciplined team that's hungry for more. And I think Coach Brooks has them well coached and ready for a long run in the tournament as well. I mean, you could see UVA, like I said, you could see 3 ACC teams in the Final Four. It wouldn't be unheard of.
Well, the streak in the ACC is over. 20 in a row falls by the wayside. Congrats in order to Lance White and the Pitt Panthers. First conference dub of the season, and it comes in impressive fashion. 60-51, our final score, as the Panthers find a way, including 4 players in double figures. For Brooke Weisbrod, I'm Roy Philpott. Let's send you now to Winston-Salem for Clemson and Wake Forest. Say hello to Sam Ravitch, Kelly Gramlich.
And we welcome you to ACC.